correct. Is it the only exclusively blues bar that does blues music every day of the week?
Yeah.
Now some sort of bars or pubs have blues nights or jam nights. They're not blues bars. So I think that's important because a lot of musicians who are into blues, this is somewhere they can come where they can see older musicians, younger musicians, listen to music, talk. You know, it's not just once a week. It's I think it's really good. I've been coming here for about 10 years.
And yeah, it is like the only bar that does every night of the week blues music than any other place, and I think generally that this whole area is kind of boring compared to this bar. This area alone, at least this area, there's nothing really else going on. This bar is packed like on a Tuesday with a queue, where everywhere else is dead. You know what I mean? Every other bar is dead in this area. But yeah, that's what the significance of this bar generally is live music every night, which is kind of rare in London these days.
For me, I started playing guitar, and the first kind of music that kind of made me think, oh yeah, I want to play this, was kind of rock.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, at the time, it was kind of the 80s, and it was all the technical, flashy Van Halen stuff. And I tried it, and I wasn't that good at it. And also, not that I wasn't good at it, but it just felt wrong. It felt like, well, why should I learn? You know, it just didn't make sense. It was just, you know, tapping, you know. And then I got into stuff like Led Zeppelin and Hendrix and Cream, which was kind of blues based. And then I'd read interviews with these bands, and they'd mention like Howlin' Wolf or Muddy Waters. So I'd buy albums by these people and then check them out for myself, and then you could see where it came from.
Thing is that this bar, the significance of this bar, is that I never really got into blues. I just realised this really. I never really got into blues until I came here, and that was 5 years ago. And that was at a jam night, and a guy called Ian Siegel got on stage and played acoustic guitar blues, and he was phenomenal. And I just went, wow, this is amazing. And then I was a barman then. I started working here as a barman about 4.5 years ago. And before that, I was just Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin did a lot of blues, but I never really followed that line because of Zeppelin. I always loved Zeppelin too much, did not go down that route, you know what I mean? Zeppelin was enough. And then I was working behind the bar, and somebody put on Howlin' Wolf Chess Recordings Best Of, which is phenomenal. And once I heard him singing like this primal, deep, massive, his voice was huge, but it was also varied. He could do 2 different voices and stuff, and I just got into that one. Like some of the songs were just one chord, and they were just using their imaginations on it, and that's when I really got into blues. It was this bar that got me into blues, and I just really realised that now actually.
In terms of blues and the way I think blues meant, this is by far the most significant place in London and possibly Western Europe for blues scene, because I don't think real blues is meant to be sold for 50 quid a ticket in Ronnie Scott's and people sit at a table and be meant to be silent because the artist is performing. There's no blues. Right. Real blues is active, is interactive. People play with the bands, people enjoy themselves, and anything goes. It's style mentality. And as you notice upstairs, there's no elevation of stage, just a tiny bit. But it's straight in your face, and you are basically part of the act. Right. And I think that's, in that way, the blues bar is by far the most significant blues item, probably in Europe.
Little drinking song. Little drinking song called Pink Champagne That Stole My Gold From Me.
I've been playing music since I was about 10 years old, which will be frighteningly 38 years. As a harmonica player, it's been all the old school fellas, Sonny Boy Williamson, Little Water Jacobs, George Harmonica Smith, and all the fellas from the Chicago area and the Chicago era of electric blues. Well, when we go to Europe, it's more often than not it's to go to play festivals. So consequently, there's going to be a much bigger audience because they're there for a festival. You know, likewise when we do festivals in England, you know, there's 1,000+ people always. So obviously, it's a louder, noisier, bigger audience. It's more geared towards the Chicago blues, which is it's all the fellas from Mississippi. They went north into Chicago, and then the instruments became amplified, and so they become a little louder, a little tougher, and a bit more urban, you know. We're always hoping that it's going to make another comeback. You know, it peaks and troughs all the way through. You know, we've had blues revivals in this country or worldwide since it was first popular. You know, it comes and usually in average out. It's usually in 10-year cycles. It becomes really, really popular and then fades away. It's always popular on things like commercials on television. You're always going to have blues on, you know, blues-based music.
Because of the proximity,
Yeah.
and then you end up, you know, making friends or maybe not, but you're kind of almost forced to talk to people and communicate with people and interact rather than everyone's in their separate corners. Because when it gets packed, you've got to be a bit, you know, because people are dancing about, you've got your pint, you can't be too precious in that. So you're going to interact with people whether you like it or not, and I think that's a good thing because
completely
you
healthy.
just end up talking to anyone, and sometimes it's fun.